Today is January 8th, 2026. Things feel pretty rough, but it also feels like something is shifting. 2 more people have been shot today by MAGA regime's out-of-control forces of violence. Yesterday, Renee Good was killed in Minnesota in what looks a lot like murder. The 2 people in Portland today brings the number who we know have been shot by ICE or Customs and Border Patrol up to 16, with 4 fatalities, including Renee Good. Now, all of these are tragedies. Miss Good left behind 3 children. Many of us, myself included, are reluctant to comment on it because of the tragedy. But in this case, it's also a political moment, and I think we should recognize it. I was hesitant to call it this, but it may be that Renee Good's murder will be a George Floyd kind of moment, but this time featuring white people. I went ahead and just said those words because later, after thinking of them, I saw Heather Cox Richardson's post today, and she made the same point, both different language. For the first time, she talked about what is fascism. And she did it to point out that fascism requires setting up an other against whom the people can be rallied against. And out of those 16, and I've put the link on my Substack and YouTube channels to the accounting, it appears that Ms. Good is the first white person. And that is a political pivot moment, because the line of who is the other has now been crossed by the violence of this regime. Because just like the Nazi fascists, these MAGA fascists have this racial divide that they ID with the dog whistles like non-legacy American. This regime is not smart, so they didn't train and restrain their forces to prevent this murder of a white woman from happening. But they're instinctive enough in their authoritarianism to employ the fascist playbook. Because the way to square up the regime's use of force against a member of the white people in-group is to paint the victim as a traitor to the in-group. And that's exactly what Trumpet and Noam immediately did, despite the facts being obviously otherwise. They called her a domestic terrorist, a professional agitator, a member of the radical left movement of violence and hate, and so on. Today, it is still an open question how much success they will have with that. I'd like to point out that the pattern of violence that led to Miss Good's death is one that has befallen Black and brown people for generations. An eyewitness reported today that ICE officials gave Miss Good conflicting instructions, orders to leave and orders to get out of the car. She followed the orders to leave, and they killed her. Now, I join the calls for peaceful protest. We will better advance our cause for freedom and justice through nonviolence. And also, notice how our progress is being accelerated by the bravery of Miss Good's neighbors, who were out and caught it all on video. And another related piece I encountered today and I'd like to share, Avner Less was a Jew who interrogated Adolf Eichmann before his execution for war crimes and for organizing the Holocaust. Mr. Less came away with this prophetic piece of writing. Quote, "There are Adolf Eichmanns everywhere. They are all around us. They are latent in a democracy, but in a dictatorship of the left or the right, they become deadly in an instant." Unquote. I think this is where the ICE agents who murdered Renee Good came from. They've been all around us all the time, and now they're unleashed. But still, I say they cannot win. Ultimately, we are too proud of a people. We're too well-equipped with cell phones and internet connections, too committed to the entitlement of all to due process, and ultimately, yes, too well armed with more firepower per person than any people in the history of the universe. So as awful as it feels right now, please care for yourself. Please know that you're not alone. There are millions of us who are working to take this back. And things are already shifting in Congress. Signs of resistance. Too weak, yes, but growing. They voted to prevent more action in Venezuela. They voted to restore the affordable health care subsidies. It's too little. It's nowhere near becoming law yet, but it is happening now where it wasn't before. And this is how it starts. When we succeed, there will be a mess to clean up that can never be made whole. It will be missing people like Miss Good. We've been through dark periods before, and now is our time to take up our duty to make the world a better place. An old song came to me and is becoming newly relevant. Remember Ohio. And in that, Amen, America.